Hey there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Apuborama, and in today's video, I'll be breaking into 10 things that every player who is solo in 2024 needs for Grand Theft Auto Online. We are going to be breaking this video into 3 separate categories. Those categories are grinding vehicles, we have offensive and defensive, and then we have my pick for the best in any situation. So as always, if you enjoy today's video, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, and let's get straight into it. We are going to start off with the grinding category. These are vehicles that you are going to use to help you earn money faster, whether you're traveling from point A to point B as quickly as possible or trying to complete missions. These vehicles should help you out. The first one we are going to talk about is the Sparrow. To call it in is very easy. Go to your interaction menu, go to Service Vehicles, click on Kosatka, and select the Sparrow. Now you do need to own a Kosatka, and then you need to purchase the Sparrow to actually use this helicopter. But it has a lot of fantastic capabilities going for it, which are kind of unmatched. First of all, you are able to spawn it in wherever you are. It does not matter if you are on Mount Chiliad or if you are out in the middle of nowhere. You can call in the helicopter instantly. The other great thing is that this helicopter does not count as a personal vehicle. So, you know, there's a lot of Pegasus vehicles that you'll call out, and it won't let you get out a personal car in the same time, you know, if I were to call out a plane or something like that, which is really disappointing. But the Sparrow does not have that issue at all, so it makes missions very easy, as you can have a Sparrow and Oppressor Mark II being used at the exact same time. When you pair that with the fact that the Sparrow flies at 170 miles per hour, it features flares, which you can easily spam, giving you decent protection from enemy attackers, and homing missiles, which you can spam like crazy. Yeah, it's a pretty effective vessel. Sure, the Sparrow does not feature that much armor, and it does have some wonky characteristics that you're going to have to keep in mind, like the fact that just a couple railgun hits is going to take you out. But at the end of the day, it's free to call in, it is extremely easy to use, and it just makes grinding an absolute joy. Whenever I'm doing setups for the Cayo Perico heist, or I'm just going from point A to point B on the map, this is my go-to. Up next, we have the Oppressor Mark II. Now, personally, as a person who grinds a lot of money, I do consider the Oppressor Mark II to be a money-grinding vehicle. Now, sure, it's great for offensive capabilities. It's great because of the fact it has missiles. It even features flares. And, yeah, they're not the best flares, but you still have them, which is pretty nice. But I mainly use the Oppressor Mark II for the fact that it is incredibly easy to fly and very durable. For example, let's say you crash right into this pole here. Well, as you'll notice, the Oppressor has no issues whatsoever. Try that in a helicopter and yeah, it's not going to go nearly as well for you. I mean, look at this. We're going to go right into this building here. Full speed, no issues whatsoever. Let's pull out a helicopter and see how that works for us. There's a perfectly good building right in front of us. Let's see what happens. Yeah, obviously the Oppressor Mark II in this situation is going to be a lot more durable than something like a helicopter. And that's obviously without mentioning the fact that the Oppressor Mark II is one of notoriously the most dangerous vehicles to go up against in the game. Even nerf after nerf after nerf, the Oppressor Mark II is still a very dangerous vessel. First of all, it's tiny, which means it's incredibly hard to hit. And when you pair that with the fact it has flares, you can dodge quite a few missiles. So we can see here, this Oppressor Mark II is about to smash a Deluxo. So yeah, the Oppressor Mark II, it's a bit of a show-off and a can-do vehicle. I mean, it does everything well. It's fast, it features incredible maneuverability, and things that, you know, jets and just normal helicopters cannot compete with. Like, imagine flying a jet through these little pillars here and making your way around these corners. It's just not physically possible. And then even if you do make a mistake in the Oppressor, and you go face-first into a building, it just doesn't make a difference because it's almost impossible to get knocked off of it. So yeah, the Oppressor Mark II is kind of insane. Pair that with the fact that it has missiles, it has flares that we can actually see that missile just went after. Personally, I think the Oppressor Mark II is definitely one of the best grinding vehicles in the game. The Oppressor Mark II really only has one big downside. And it is quite a big one. It's a one-time fee of $8 million to purchase. And if you pair that with the fact you also need to get your hands on a terabyte to upgrade it, you're looking at around $12 million to get everything all said and done for the Oppressor Mark II, which just, it's not great. I mean, that's as simple as it is. The Oppressor Mark II is extremely expensive, but if you have the money to spend, it is a fantastic vehicle. And I know it's expensive, but trust me, it is definitely worth it in the long run. But for now, I'd highly recommend to stick with the Sparrow, as it does 90% of what the Oppressor can do. And then we arrive to the final vehicle for today's video, especially very important for grinding, which is the Vigilante. Now, the Vigilante's got a lot of capabilities. First of all, it has a rocket boost, and it's actually the fastest of the rocket boosting vehicles in the game, achieving a top speed over 150 miles per hour on average, which is obviously pretty dang fantastic. Not only that, but it's very heavy, which makes it fantastic at pushing vehicles out of its way, which is always nice when you're trying to complete missions. But speaking of missions, this is where the Vigilante is really, really good. You see, it has homing missiles, and it is the only vehicle that you can spawn in the game that you can use in missions with its homing missiles, and this is absolutely huge. You can see me from the distance back here shooting homing missiles at the enemies, and they don't even know where I am. This is just why the Vigilante is so good. I don't even think they're aggroed on me. I'm just clearing everything in the distance, as you can see, killing everything around me. It is just this easy to use the Vigilante. Every missile will hit, every missile will blow up whatever threat is in front of me. It's a little stupid, but this is the major reason why the Vigilante is just a must-have mission vehicle. These missiles are extremely dangerous. They home on just about everything in front of you, and I mean, look at this. Everything's already done here. Yeah, there you go. You're dead, and the mission's over. So now all I need to do is hop into the Titan and get out of the hangar. So yeah, these are my 3 picks for the best grinding vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online. They are fantastic if you're a solo player, and you're really not going to run into any issues whatsoever. Let's make our way to the next category, which is the best defensive vehicles. And that brings us to the Phantom and Hauler Custom. I personally like the Hauler Custom just because it's a bit of a smaller vehicle, but both the Phantom and Hauler Custom are absolutely fantastic. If you're wondering how you get your hands on this vehicle, it's very easy. It is the Mobile Operations Center. You just need to disconnect the cab from the truck. Then there you go. Now you're driving this vehicle. Now you'll notice that the MOC cab is very fast. We're chilling at about 120 miles per hour right now, and that's because this truck is actually a really, really speedy boy. It can accelerate quickly, and it has a top speed base of about 102, but obviously if you're driving and you've got little bumps on the road, it's going to speed you up quite a bit faster. This thing is very fast and surprisingly maneuverable, and even if a car does get in your way, I mean, let's be real, it's not going to stop you. You're in a big frickin' semi-truck. Then we arrive to the defensive capabilities, and that is the fact that I would put this in the indestructible category. The Hauler Custom can survive basically just a never-ending supply of explosions. In fact, I'm not even going to use homing missiles to show how durable. The APC is going to be a good example, as the APC features a missile battery ram. Look at how many missiles we are firing at the Hauler Custom here. Do you notice something? Because I do. While it may look like it's destroyed, it is not. Let's keep shooting. I think the APC holds about 50 missiles in total, and these count as the same damage as a homing missile, to what I'm aware. I could be wrong, but, well, I think the point I'm making is coming very, very clear. You are not going to be blowing up a Hauler Custom. Why? Well, that is because the Hauler Custom can survive upwards of 70 homing missiles. 70! That is absolutely insane. Not only that, but if you're getting shot by an explosive sniper or really anything else like a railgun, it's upwards of 140. So in the real world, there is no situation where you are ever going to be killed when using a Hauler Custom. This vehicle features way too much armor, way too much protection, and my favorite part about the vehicle is the fact that you can shoot directly behind you. We can see my bullets, well, we can actually shoot at this car here. You can see that my bullets are indeed hitting that car. And that is really dangerous, because let's say there's somebody behind you, and they're trying to kill you, right? Well, all you need to do is make sure that you're keeping the back of your truck towards them, and because there's no windows on the back, it's impossible for them to really kill you. And if it's something in the sky like an Oppressor or a Raiju, there's just no chance they're ever going to take you out. And because of that, the Hauler Custom easily makes it into today's list. And that brings us to Amani Tech vehicles. Personally, I think Amani Tech cars are one of the best things Rockstar has ever added into Grand Theft Auto Online. Vehicles like the Oppressor Mark II, the Deluxo, and the Toreador, with their absolutely cringe capabilities, have dominated the streets of Los Santos for a while. But Amani Tech vehicles are here, and they have completely reversed the capabilities of all griefing vehicles. Why? Well, first of all Amani Tech cars come with a missile lock-on jammer. What does that mean? Well, it's pretty basic. It means you cannot lock on any car with Amani Tech upgrades. So if I wanted to blow up this Canis Terminus here, I couldn't unless I manually aimed non-homing missiles at it, which you can imagine is quite a painful situation. Not only are they missile lock-on jammers, but they also can survive multiple explosions. The Canis Terminus here can survive 3 homing missiles, the 4th blowing it up. But if you get out something like the Ocelot Virtue or the Obey Ominous EGT, they can survive upwards of 10 homing missiles before being blown up, which is obviously a huge difference. So there are a lot of different capabilities from the Amani Tech vehicles and just their overall strengths. So yes, when it comes to Amani Tech, I would highly recommend to get your hands on at least one of them. Sure, there's a lot of videos out there, including my own, that tell you each in their, capabilities. I think the STX is the best all around, but I also think the Terminus is great. I think the Obey Ominous EGT is great. So there's a lot of different things that you can go for. Let me know in the comments which Amani Tech is your favorite, but at the end of the day, you should definitely own one at least. And then that brings us to the mighty beast, the Insurgent Pickup Custom. The Insurgent Pickup Custom is cool for a couple reasons. First of all, you can basically have an infinite number of them for free. You see, the Insurgent Pickup is a Merryweather vehicle, and what that means is you can literally go to your phone, call Pegasus, and call in an Insurgent whenever you want. And then if you simply just drive it into your mobile operations center, you can claim it as your own with a slight upgrade fee. It's still kind of crazy, though, that you can just keep calling them in over and over and over and basically have an infinite number of an Insurgent Pickup Custom. Now, what is special about this vehicle? First of all, it features proximity mines, and I love proxy mines. We can see I placed one right there, and yeah, no more car. Boom, boom. The proximity mines deal a lot of damage, and they are very dangerous. So if anybody's ever chasing you on ground, they're not going to last very long. But the Insurgent is also fairly fast. You can see right now I'm chilling at around 90 miles per hour. It's actually pretty maneuverable as well. For a vehicle this heavy, I'm always surprised on how well it handles. And yeah, you're not going to have to worry about cars getting in your way. Yeah, you're gonna smash just about every car out of your way, no issue whatsoever. And the last and final reason why the Insurgent Pickup Custom is so good is because it survives 26 homing missiles. That is quite a beating. Yes, it is not as many missiles as something like the Mobile Operations Center. But what it does have as an advantage is the fact that it is quite a bit faster, the fact that it's a bit more maneuverable, smaller in size, and a personal vehicle, and not something you have to call out as a service tab. If you're ever trying to use your Kosatka or something else, you cannot use your Mobile Operations Center. So because of that, I think the Insurgent is a great middle ground where you have Amani Tech survivability with a lot of missiles, but you also have explosions and just, all around great capabilities in terms of offense as well. So that is why we have the Insurgent here. Let me know what you guys think, and we are now going to move on to the final categories of today's video, which is offense. Now obviously some of the vehicles we've already talked about in today's video could fit into the offensive category. The Oppressor Mark II is obviously going to be fantastic at dealing with people if it's the only thing you have. And that's the same case for the Sparrow. While its missiles are not incredible, it still does feature flares, and you can clear a target if you have to. But these three vehicles we'll be talking about, at least in my opinion, are the best of the bunch. Starting off, we have the Deluxo. Now, the Deluxo is great for a couple reasons. It's fast, drives at 127 miles per hour, making this actually one of the fastest sports classics in the game, and it's got great handling as well, so it's just a really good all-round car in that type of situation. But let's say you don't want to use the road. Well, no problem, because the Deluxo can also fly. And not only can it fly, but it can hover in one position. This is really nice, especially when you are able to spam homing missiles on really whatever target you want to. And by the way, these aren't your grandmother's homing missiles. These are super dangerous. If you lock on to whatever it is in front of you, you're guaranteed going to blow it up. Sure, it might take 1 or 2 missiles, but you won't miss. I have gone up against F-160 Raijus, lasers, oppressors. The Deluxo is literally an unbeaten champion, in my opinion. Like, sure, it's very easy to blow up, only takes 1 missile, and its biggest weakness right now is that the railgun in 2 hits can blow it up. But I can tell you that if you know what you're doing, the Deluxo is easily one of the best vehicles in the game. It's just so nice because of the fact it flies, because of the fact it features super dangerous homing missiles. So yeah, I really like the Deluxo, and personally, I think it is incredibly underrated. That brings us to a stealthier, faster version of the Deluxo, which is the Toreador. Now this vehicle still does have some disadvantages. The Deluxo can obviously fly, which is huge, and that will allow you to take out really anything in the sky, which is why I love the Deluxo. But the Toreador will cover just as many situations on the ground. You can't fly, but what you do have is protection. This vehicle can survive upwards of 6 to 7 homing missiles, which is quite impressive. That means if anybody's trying to take you out, there's very little chance they're actually going to, especially when you pair that with the fact that you feature a rocket boost, and it's a very quick recharging rocket boost. This is great because you can dodge missiles very easily and not really have to worry about being blown up. When you pair that with the fact the Toreador also features homing missiles, the same dangerous homing missiles that the Deluxo has, yeah, it's really, really capable. And there's one big advantage this vehicle has over the Deluxo, and that is the fact that these are infinite homing missiles. What do I mean by that? Well, the Deluxo, I think, has around 30 homing missiles, and then it runs out. But the Toreador, you can just keep shooting and shooting and shooting all day, every day, forever and ever and ever. You will never run out of missiles. That is insane, and it means that your vehicle is always going to be dangerous. You're never going to have to worry about topping it up. And when you pair that with the fact that it can survive a few explosions, yeah, in my opinion, the Toreador is just an incredible vehicle. Plus, it's fast, it has a rocket boost, so while it can't fly like the Deluxo can, it still has that advantage of being able to go faster than it can on ground and accelerate. There is one other thing I should mention, and that is the fact it has a submersible mode. We can see that here, but personally, I just don't care too much about the submersible mode. I don't really think there's anything too, spectacular about it. You're kind of slow, and yeah, you do have a rocket boost in the water, but even then, I just don't ever see myself using it, so I can't really say it's that special personally. And that brings us to the final vehicle for the defensive category, which is the Ruiner 2000. Now you might be saying, why? The Ruiner 2000 has nothing over the Deluxo or Toreador. It's not faster than the Deluxo, it can't fly, it doesn't feature a rocket boost, and it can't go underwater. It features less homing missiles than both of the cars, and it can't survive any explosions. So why would you ever want to get your hands on the Ruiner 2000? Well, it's actually quite simple, and that is because of the fact if you register as a CEO and you go over to VIP work, you have the mission fully loaded. Starting this mission will spawn a Ruiner 2000 on the map in front of you. And if you drive over to that Ruiner, you might notice that it looks like a stock bare bones vehicle, but oh ho ho, trust me, that is quite the contrary. The fully loaded Ruiner 2000 is almost indestructible. It can survive upwards of 20 homing missiles, which is insane, especially when you realize that this vehicle also features a missile lock-on jammer. As long as the mission's going on, which lasts for 20 minutes, there is no way for anybody in a public session or really anywhere to lock onto this vehicle. It has infinite homing missiles, which alone is huge. You can just keep shooting them over and over and over. You will not run out. And sure, while it doesn't have upgraded speed, it's still fairly fast, and I think the fact that it can survive so many explosions and the fact that it has infinite homing missiles more than makes up for it. One of the issues I have with the Toreador is that it does struggle with air targets, and that is because you don't have a jump. But in the Ruiner 2000, if something's above you, you just jump in the air, use a homing missile, and blow them up incredibly easily. So yeah, I think that the fully loaded Ruiner 2000 is insane. And if you don't believe me on how many missiles it can, well, survive, you can see at least it survived more than one I did end up killing myself in the process, but you just can't blow up the Ruiner 2000, and even if it does get blown up, by the way, it'll just spawn a new one for you within a couple feet, and then you just walk into that one, and boom, then you're basically indestructible once again. So that is why the Ruiner 2000 is the #1 pick for defensive. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree for these 3 vehicles. And that brings us to the final category of today's video, the Jack of all trades. And that brings us to the F-160 Raiju. This is just an incredible aircraft for many reasons. First of all, it is the fastest flying thing in the game. It's the fastest vehicle in the game. It goes 230 miles per hour, which is quite incredible when you think about it, and obviously allows it to achieve speeds that really nothing else can. The Sparrow, for example, goes 170, which isn't even close. And even if you get the second fastest propellered aircraft, which is the Rogue, that goes about 220. So yeah, the Raiju is incredibly fast, and you're never going to have to worry about getting anywhere slower than somebody else on your game. Not only that, but the Raiju is incredibly well equipped for weaponry. It features an explosive machine gun, which, as we can see, will destroy anything on the road below you, which is obviously really, really nice. We got cars down here, and bye-bye. Well, we almost just died there, man. We're kind of flying like a monkey right now. It is late, though. But either way, the explosive machine gun, as you can see, is really, really devastating. And, yeah, bye-bye to that orange car. So, it's got that. It obviously has the classic homing missiles, which are always pretty dang good. I mean, there's nothing insane about the homing missiles, but they'll get the job done if you need them to. Oh yeah, and should I mention that this has a hover mode, which obviously allows you to be even more dangerous if you want to be precision accurate with your homing missiles. Well, there you go. You can blow up cars, or you can just pull out the explosive machine gun and absolutely nuke the streets below. There's one final thing I should mention, that is that the Raiju has stealth mode. And what stealth mode does is it makes you invisible to everybody on the mini-map. So when you add all these things together, the Raiju is just incredible. It's fast, it's versatile, it has weaponry, and it's quite incredible. The only thing it can't be done is used in missions, but everything else, yeah, it's about as good as it can get. So let me know in the comments if you guys, what the... Okay, that's an interesting one, but, oh, we got hit by our jet. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree with my picks? Either way, I think that these are my choices for the top 10 solo vehicles that everybody should get in Grand Theft Auto Online. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.